Cheers.
Cheers.
Hi, Taylor.
Hi, Tina. I gotta sit down now. I got a kitty in my seat.
Aww.
He's sleeping. Hello, Tina. Hello, friends.
Okay.
Okay. Mama's gotta sit down. You can come on my lap, though.
Hello. I'm TiTi.
I'm TayTay.
And this is
tea time.
So, we are here to explore topics relevant to the raw vegan lifestyle and holistic health. And I'm Tina, and I'm here from my Instagram live, and it's at Tina Seuz. I also have a YouTube channel, also Tina Seuz, Cseuz. How about you, TayTay?
I have an Instagram at Joyful Raw Life and a YouTube channel, Taylor A. Norris. And yeah, I'm on here live too. So fun.
Yeah. Well, this is our little setup to announce that it's episode 3. And we're going to talk all about intentions in the raw.
Celebrating intentions.
Yes. And to celebrate intentions, we actually have nothing pre-planned. We are going to embody the act of living our intention right now and trusting it. So Taylor, what's your intention for today? This episode?
My intention is to sink more deeply into the experience and expression of intention as an individual, with you, Tina, as a co-host, and with everyone who's on here live as participants and interacting beings as well.
Bam!
Bam! That's it. What about you?
All right. I'm going to close my eyes. Okay. My intention today is to share in authenticity, in trust, and in service and connection. And share all about intentions. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to embody our intention right now and just live it out and see how it plays out. It's very different than goal setting, which is very measurable and result oriented, and yeah, it's more left brained. So
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
exactly.
And Taylor, what are you drinking today, first of all?
What am I not drinking is the question. I have a variety of beverages here at my crystal table. This is butterfly pea tea, you know, my favorite, with mamaki mixed with a liver rescue blend, all loose leaf, that I brew in my magical crystal vessel here with my sacred 7 crystals. This is the second steep. That's why it's not really that dark. Normally it would be more like bright blue.
Yeah.
But, you know, whatever. I've also got beverage number 2, celery juice.
Nice.
Made fresh this morning.
Looks good.
And beverage number 3, no less, I don't know. I'm probably not going to get to this one in tea time, but it's ready for me after. This is coconut water. I hacked them open myself with sugarcane juice, spirulina, health force, vitamin mineral green, chia seeds, and fresh ginger juice. Fire. It's really good.
Wow, Taylor. I
Yeah.
thought I was going to be like I was literally gonna let you know that I was double fisting two teas. Peppermint in here, but then I have this other one I'm brewing, which is called Tigress. Kind of
Ooh.
cool. The color is like tiger eye, but and it has, what does it have? It has nettle leaf, tulsi, violet leaf, red clover blossoms,
Mm.
lemongrass, burdock root, and cornflower, and it's brewed by
Oh,
BWB, Bold Women Brand.
nice. And they make tea too. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's really good. Um,
That sounds really nice and like earthy and grounding.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Taylor, what should we share about intentions
I thought,
with the raw vegan lifestyle?
well, rewind. What are you grateful for?
Oh, I can't forget that. Thank you.
Yeah.
um, I am grateful for everyone on here. I see everyone saying hello. And guess who just popped on? Eleanor did.
Eleanor! Eleanor in the house!
um, I'm grateful for all of you who's here. I'm grateful for the freshness of the rain that just happened. Really kind of wiped everything clear, and it just feels really good. And um, I'm grateful for community.
Mm.
Yes. How about you, Taylor? And how about you all? Type in what you want to share that you're grateful for.
Yeah. Yeah, what's everyone grateful for? I am grateful for the rain here as well. We just had a nice, like, brief cleansing shower. I think the sun's going to come out later, which I'm very excited about and grateful for. I'm grateful for, I sewed 3 trays of microgreens this morning, which I
Wow.
hadn't done in like 3 or 4 weeks. So it was just really nice to like stick my hands in the soil and work it and, spread all the seeds and moisten the soil. Just really feeling that process and enjoying that a lot. Um, yeah, I'm grateful for like a blissful morning routine, of which this is like a part, like a flowing part of it. And yeah, I'm grateful for the people who are showing up to this and resonating with us right now. And someone's grateful for a doggy, I think, or a kitty. That's fun. I'm
Who's
grateful for,
cuddling me and watching with me. Oh, my
oh,
9-year-old Orla.
my
That's
9 year
sweet.
old. Nice.
Oh,
Oh yeah, oh, not a dog, a child. That's the same thing, right? Like just with or without
a bundle of
fur,
love.
human or not. Yeah, my little kitty just yeah, she's in the litter box scraping around. I'm very grateful for her.
Well, speaking of furry friends, I'm just going to share with you all that I got a little tooth mark right here from, I'm just going to name it because everyone's like, what's that red scab on your face?
Yeah, Tina has acne.
But my dog bit me because we were playing with it and kind of roughhousing, and I think it got scared or just I bother it sometimes. I kind of roughhouse, and
Yeah, yeah.
it got me, and I was like, ah, it hurt pretty bad.
Oh my God.
It's all good though.
It happens. It
Yeah.
happens. Yeah. Yeah, I had a bunch of like cat scratches on my arms because I tried to introduce Naga to a dog and she wasn't cool with that.
Oh well.
Sometimes things just, yeah, are animals and us, we're, different wavelengths.
So let's get into it, Taylor.
Let's get into it. I'm ready.
Folks, also chime in like what you're interested in about, like if you have questions or thoughts or things that you're wanting to share, just let us know and type it in, because this is a dialogue and a conversation. It's not intended to be like us only teaching something, you know. We're just kind of conversating, and whatever you want to chime in will be great. I'm going to start off with like the fact that I feel intention is huge and is the foundation of a house or the foundation of your life. And I feel like it infiltrates its way and informs every action we do. And I feel like on my path, what I've learned is that we're always constantly living and shaping our reality based on the beliefs we have and what we're anchoring our attention on, and that really shapes what happens in our life. And obviously there's certain things that maybe are karmic or happen outside of our control, or that are just meant to happen, but I feel like for the most part of what we do have control over in our own actions, it's like I feel that what we anchor our attention on, which is an intention, really makes the journey and makes the sculpture of what you're creating. Do you have anything you want to add to that? Like kind of
Yeah,
at a broad brushstroke of what?
just vibing off of what you said. Yeah, there's the conscious intentions in the day to day living. Even those more karmic intentions, too. I think we're just talking about intentions that were made, before we came in bodies or maybe in other lives. So I think that flows in with it too, like the divine orchestration of this sculpture we're creating in life as human beings. Another thing that popped in my head when you were talking about attention and intention is, I think I heard or realized, it's hard to say, years ago, but intention is attention turned inward,
Mm.
right? Like instead
And
of,
very conscious too. Like,
yeah, is our, we're kind of in like a battle and war for our attention with so much stimulation and inputs and things being marketed to us and sales and content, watch this, watch this, watch this. And intention is reclaiming attention and turning that inward into, what are my needs? What are my goals? What are my values? What do I wish to create? What do I wish to manifest? Why am I here? How can I express my life purpose? All of that, and going inside the heart, the mind, the soul, the spirit to unlock that and reveal that, so that in our waking lives and everyday choices, the actions will line up with those intentions. But we can't do it if our attention is outside always and being, funneled by something else that wants it. And I think that's like one of the greatest challenges of our modern life today, modern living. So to really focus more attention inward and set intentions is like the life hack
yeah.
of our time, really. And it's not a hack, it's just like a natural like foundation building block of being, truly being a human being that we're not necessarily taught.
And it's a total practice, like a coming to like you said, reclaiming, like going back to it, back to it, back to it, back to it. Um, the reason I think this is so important and relevant to the raw vegan lifestyle is because what I've learned in my history or my experience is that you can do any kind of form or thing or technique or diet or lifestyle, but if I'm not, and another person's not actually aware of how they want to do it and why they want to do it. Like, for instance, mine is my fundamental intention in life is love. Like, not a human codependent love that's attached, but to really embody love. And it's a practice, and it comes in and out. But if I'm going to go, let's say, live a raw vegan lifestyle or vegan lifestyle, I feel that you can do that and have the intention that will throw you off the path. Like, so many people have claimed fame or posing, or because they want to appear a certain way. Like, the intention there is more appearance rather than authenticity or truth or true health or humility and surrender, or even like the intention, like one of my intentions I hold is to surrender to my true nature, surrender to what my body wants. And in that, I come to a raw vegan lifestyle, because it's what my body has informed me is the best for it. And whether I veer from that or not, my intention is always to fundamentally like love myself, and in that honor the truth of the temple I live in. So I think that, like what you were saying, things are fighting for our attention all the time. It's a really key thing, I think, to really claim why and what the way you want to do this. Like, it's kind of like the why, like the hell, what are the anchor words that can really help you show up as a being that loves and that expresses the love it is and lets its true essence out. And it's a lifelong practice. And yeah, I've been humbled billion trillion times. And but I think it's really important because people can come to this lifestyle, and it can work. It maybe it won't work for them. You can be on this lifestyle and be completely imbalanced, which is where you work a lot with balance as an intention. So I don't know. Do you have anything you want to play off of that? Like,
I love everything you just said. Like that was like a massive download. I hope everyone was listening or paying attention. That was so beautiful and such an important distinction and like way to highlight how to enter this raw vegan lifestyle, because I think a lot of people do not enter it from that place of love and truth and alignment, but can enter it in from a more disordered background or with very specific goals in mind. Oh, this is going to be a temporary thing, or like this is a quick weight loss thing, or it's I don't know, something else. But coming to it from, like, I'm working with someone right now. She's coming from a place of like, I want my physical being to match my spiritual being, and like to align those two truths, like knowing that the choices she's making right now are not serving the vibration she's at spiritually. And so like introducing the raw foods as a gift to the physical body to be able to anchor and hold down the healing work that she's done. So yeah, I think entering this lifestyle and allowing its magic to manifest from that place of love and health and truth and natural alignment is the key to really sustaining it long term. And even thinking, I mean, Naga just like jumped on my lap. She's like, the animals, like, love can be encompassing the more like animal ethic orientations or wanting to do good for the planet. And the raw food lifestyle and choices are are the actions that match those, higher aims. Um, but yeah, I also love the idea of it just being an anchor, something to return to. If you are feeling lost, or if you are feeling triggered, or um, not sure if you're making the right choice, like, does it feel loving or not?
Mm.
Checking in with yourself about that. Does a raw vegan lifestyle feel loving? Does this holistic health practice feel loving or not? That can be helpful with that discernment,
And
because
also like playing off, like using your feeling as a feedback mechanism. You can also go into two questions, whether like, am I creating that because I'm have a belief, a limiting belief I need to switch up? Or is it actual just feedback, like something external isn't working out? Like, is it an internal thing that I'm creating the discord and it's my attitude? Or is it the actual surrounding thing, like externally, like maybe I'm not eating enough and I'm really fatigued and feeling worn out? Or maybe um, I need more community now. So I'm missing out on tribe and I need to fill that, need with being more proactive on it or something. So it's like I feel like it's a constant check-in, and intentions can be obviously I feel like they can shift based on what we need in the moment that serves us in our evolution and love, and really I love that you reminded everyone that you can gauge, using our emotions as feedback, our feelings as feedback, and really seeing, like, is it me that's creating that, if there's a discord or not, and then the external thing too. But I feel like I wanted to add that um, on the whole, I feel like the external mainstream um, agenda doesn't serve us remembering that we're a holistic being and that a we're a multi-layered dimensional being that actually reflects the truth that we're all connected, unity consciousness. um, a lot of advertising and commercials and industries thrive on the fact that they're trying to create a gap, like a void in you, to think something's missing, that you're not whole already. So then that creates this need to feel like, oh, I need the jacket to feel like I'm successful because I'm not successful as a human being as I am right here, right now. And I really, really saw that with, I used to work in the fashion industry, and I realized like the whole industry is creating hundreds of garments before even knowing if there's a need for them. Then they're creating the need for them through commercials by saying you're not beautiful enough, you're not young enough, you're not desirable enough, you're not whatever enough, rich enough, successful, whatever they're hardcore enough, whatever the thing is, and showing these examples of extreme views of that, or like really hyper accentuating that in their advertising, then you feel like you're lacking so that they can sell these garments. But it's not based on a need. It's like hundreds of garments are burnt or cut up or given other countries, destroyed, because there wasn't a need for them. They created it and then they spent all these resources on it. So it's like we get that kind of messaging from all different industries, and it's really, like you said, reclaiming our attention and creating the intention to honor within and what our truth is. And I feel like we need it as a society to, and I don't want to preach or anything, but I feel like I can say it's my human goal to really embody that truth, is like that I am whole. That doesn't mean I don't want to ever change, but I really want to embody love as much as I can and reflect that to people, and even just for myself, to live with myself. And um yeah, it's not, it's, you can find support, like there's, you know, different religious groups or spiritual groups or different things that we can do. But yeah, what do you, this totally taps into the raw vegan lifestyle, because nothing's really, I mean, it's starting to grow, but things are now being supported, you know, like there's new documentaries out that there weren't, there's, you know, social media groups that there wasn't over 15 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Events.
events.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to share, like that's connected with that, about like the actual lifestyle and
Yeah. I just
working with?
wanted to read this comment too. I feel like I need tribe. I feel disconnected to everyone and just different now, but I only find people online living like me and don't want to be a creep and ask to be friends.
We'll be your friends.
Yeah, yeah, it's not creepy. This is, yeah, so like Tina was just saying, society is not set up so that you remember this stuff and like feel supported in this stuff. So that is one of the beautiful things about social media. But get your rear end to an event where you can actually meet some other people in the flesh too. You know, whether that's like a group in your town or, you know, a bigger festival or something. It's so worth it, like to meet other vegans and raw vegans. And then within that you'll even find like the vegans and raw vegans who resonate with you on like the deeper levels that also, you know, uh, matter to you too. So, because you know, not just because they're vegan or raw vegan does it mean like they're gonna be your besties for life or something. But you can find some jewels and just and yeah, like feel that support and affirmation and like that real awareness that other people are doing this too. And like, you're not alone, you're not crazy. It's the opposite. You're actually doing something that's like really amazing. And hopefully, I mean, more and more people are coming into this. But yeah, tribe is super important. I was just at a festival, like hanging out
Yeah.
with raw vegan like fruity tribe, and it's so nourishing because last year, you know, there weren't a whole lot of opportunities for festivals and retreats and get-togethers, and you know, I was craving that, and I know a lot of us are who normally go to those events. And if you're new to this lifestyle, you know, you want to go to your first one already, and yeah, make it happen. Definitely, whatever it takes.
Yeah. I also want to add
Yeah.
that like the intention to connect is huge. Um, and so there's like everything you just said is so true. Like that's how you and I met. And
Yeah.
how actually I have lifelong friends is going to a fruit festival or you
Mhm.
know, some kind of um, compassionate, like healthy, loving environment like that. And so there's also the flip side of the coin is to choose the intention to connect with someone no matter what lifestyle they're choosing. Like for instance, if you go to a holiday dinner or something and maybe you're the only one eating vegan or raw, it's it just choosing to connect will create connection. And because you're already like anchoring your attention on like, how can I find what's in common with us, or how can I support this person, or how I have one mentor who likes to say the phrase connect gold to gold, so the gold within me connects to the gold within you. And I really love that saying, because it's like a
Awesome.
reminding of like, don't react to the stuff that
Mhm.
you're seeing around. Like they're a holy, beautiful, realized soul inside of there, just as you are, and none of us are better. And within that, there's total validity to going out and like, um, yeah, I think the art, yeah, the art of friendship and reaching out to people and being vulnerable and saying something first, or I had to really, coming to this lifestyle is more of a lone wolf, I would say. Like if I was trying something new, I would just do it on my own. And I didn't rely on community for that. And I actually judged it as a weakness. So it's so funny because the raw vegan lifestyle has taught me, and also my guide animal has taught me that I need tribe. I need my pack. And there's beauty in that, and there's strength in that. There's a lot of finding community can really bring out the best in you and the qualities that you love and the values that you're passionate about. And the first year I went to a fruit festival, I was just like, okay, do I like this crew?
Yeah.
Like, I had a little bit of a guard up, even though I didn't want to. And looking back, I think I did. I was just, checking it out. And then the next year I was all in. I was just like, yes, I do. Like, I want to meet people here. It feels really good. And yeah.
Yeah.
Have you like, I know you're gonna kind of like explore intention as like, is there ways that haven't worked for you with intention, or have you ever had like challenges around intention?
Yeah, I mean, losing track, really,
Mm.
like losing sovereignty over my attention so that I'm just like way too externally focused and overstimulated. And, you know, how this is also manifested is in like codependent relationships too, is like giving my power away and just shaping the sculpture of myself into the form and into the life that I think is gonna like please someone else, or what I think is what they want me to be. So really codependency in relationships, as well as getting off center where I'm not carving out that time every day to do journaling, to like reflect on my goals, intentions, aspirations, to do my meditation practice, to do my yoga practice, and to relish and celebrate that space and that void you were talking about earlier, Tina, that the marketers and advertisers are all trying to convince us that that space and that void and that emptiness that is inside us, particularly women with our wombs and our receptive vessels of light that we are, we're trying, these outside forces are trying to tell us that that void needs to be filled. And we see this manifesting with like addictions and compulsive shopping and all sorts of things. Just stimulate, stimulate, stimulate. But the space and the void, which you access in meditation, or if you're doing yoga or some kind of mindful movement where you're just in space, in the present moment. Any activity where you're truly just in the present moment. Can be playing with your cat, where you're just like, all right, we're here. And being in that space. Or like with fasting, with cleansing, all of these. Feeling the emptiness. Even, before your next meal, you're feeling that, wow, I'm empty. And you're not trying to fill it with anything else. Like that to me is beautiful and necessary. But it can be confusing to hold the space for yourself, to hold the space, and not just fill it. And I think that's where I've gotten off track in the past, is yeah, with like addictions and with codependency, and filling the space of my mind with, you know, external information constantly, not going within to access the information within that's always available,
Mm.
but instead, going outside myself too much. And
Yeah.
I think this is the pandemic. Hello, like this is the problem. I mean, come on.
Yeah. What you just shared, like one of my guidance counselors shared was like externally organizing yourself, organizing around this external thing instead of from our intuition, from our higher self, from our spiritual connection, from that which is love, or, you know, what some people may call your God, you know, the God that you are, the be, you know, the I am presence. And yeah, that creates addiction, and that creates that creates you know, attachment and aversion to oneself, I think. um yeah, I really liked what you just said. I what you said reminded me of also the challenge of just letting the old operating system of fear and separation take over. And that's what we're conditioned into as a human, as a having this human experience. We come into a world with duality and all of this, and so we have been conditioned as beings to separate and to be in fear mode. And it takes practice and cultivation. And I think, you know, if I could just sum it up, it's like fear is the conditioned fear mentality is definitely like what throws me off of everything. I once,
Yes.
yeah, I was once with, I'll tell you a story that happened with me. I won't name names, but I was with a loved one who was going through treatment, chemo treatment, and I can't remember if it was both radiation too. And this person went through states of complete extreme paranoia, and then all of a sudden flash out of it to like their normal self, like kind of loving and connective. And so like all of a sudden, you know, if we walked in the room, like, take everything out of your pocket, it's toxic. Take that that painting off the wall, it's toxic. Like everything was just like completely, you know, it was real. Like I had to like freeze, you know, it was like, you know, it felt like walking on eggshells. And it showed me this juxtaposition. Actually, that was one of the biggest gifts of my life. And I call this person one of the biggest gurus in my life, because of that experience, I saw living the intention of fear and living the intention of connection, and to the extreme within a few minutes, and it would flip. And it just really showed me how we do this every day, every second, every moment. I'm choosing from a fierce duality, separate kind of mentality, or I'm doing it from a connective, honoring, like loving space that remembers that we're connected, unity, consciousness, and trust, and, you know, like all the yamas, all the qualities that really accentuate our essence and help us feel love. And so that was such a learning experience for me, and it made me realize how, you know, how important the intention of fear or love, what that's, I'm creating it all the time in my life. And I can do, you know, it's also an act of compassion to realize that I'm not embodying that 100% all the time. Like it's not like I'm gonna judge someone else if they're not doing it, or I'm not doing it, and just because that's just embodying the judge, critic, fear even more, amplifying it, you know. So it's a practice of compassion also, to realize that I'm human, that it's going to wax and wane, that it's the intention, it's a practice, it's not a perfectionist black and white thing that I'm just going to do all the time because I remembered right now. Like I have to. And so that goes into something I want to ask you, like, what do you do to remember your intentions? Because it's so easy to forget. It's so easy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, amen to everything you just said. First off, um, I feel like, yeah, yeah, I love how you get so practical, and like you got to keep coming back, realize that like the fear intention is the one that's being broadcast so hardcore on planet Earth right now. And if that's something you're falling into, that yeah, it's okay. You're okay. Like be loving, be compassionate to yourself. I definitely have slipped up big time myself due to just being overwhelmed by the very strong fear, intention, vibration on this planet, and all of the beings and energies that are very much available also to help keep you trapped in that spot. So, but compassion is a way through, because compassion paired with the awareness, um, become aware that you're in fear, living the intention of fear, have compassion for yourself, automatically that's going to transmute you into more the compassion, love, vibration, and intention. And right there, you didn't have to do anything. You just became aware and had compassion rather than, beating yourself up for like not being perfect or enlightened or something. Um, so yeah, that automatically transmutes itself. So that's really beautiful if you can become aware and be compassionate.
Yeah.
Um, that's so important. But yeah, to like have regular times checking in with this and holding space for yourself to have intentions in your life. Um, it's hard. It can be hard because we're busy, and again, with all the stimulation and day to day like survival needs and everything. But what I do is I meditate first thing every morning when I first wake up. Like, I don't even get out of bed. I just like I put on this guided meditation, and in it, um, it basically kind of turns into an intention setting in a way, where you're kind of like visualizing and feeling the feelings of what you want to create, what kind of energy you want to bring forth in yourself and in your life. And it does this for two different areas of your life. So I'm doing it on that level, because that's a very potent, powerful level. um, that's that's more the right brain, right? Like completely activating more the creative and also the heart, getting the heart involved. And then I also have a journaling practice, which yeah is a bit more the left brain, and we'll keep some of those broad brush strokes, where I can explore those, as well as kind of honing in on like more goals and like practical action steps I need to take to really, for the day, right, to really embody these bigger intentions that I'm working with. I
So do you
also,
actually have those written in, like, do you have an intention or a word or
yeah,
something written on the book cover, or like what do you like to do to remember those anchor words?
in my journal, it's just like I'll rewrite it. I'll rewrite
Rewriting.
like the two big intentions I'm working with in my meditations. I will like rewrite those, and then I'll just write down intentions for the day, and it can be, like be in the flow, right? Like that's really vague, but to me it's like I know what that means and what that feels like. um
Yeah, I
and
think
then
just
and then
before I forget, like what you just
mhm,
said is important, because choosing words that mean something to you, not just because you heard someone say, I embody self-love. Like, I might have a charged feeling around self-love. I
yeah,
don't like that term. Like, maybe for
yeah,
me, it's like a different word. So words are really important, how they
yes,
emotionally interact with you, and the
yes,
meaning you have associated with it, I
yeah,
think is important.
yeah, finding your own words. Yeah, the words that really resonate with you, that really encapsulate whatever you're going for. Yeah, and like creating space for you to figure out what those words are, like once again with the space, and not just being like, she said that sounds really good. Well, if it sounds really good, reflect on what are we doing, Tina?
Sorry.
Are we doing like somersaults?
Yeah, sorry. I'm totally interrupting. I'm interrupting your flow. Sorry.
That's fine. I just had to say something. Um, yeah, like yeah, if something I said or something Tina says or something some other person says really sounds good to you, maybe write that down and then start journaling your ideas and putting it into your own words of what it could mean for you. But find your own words. That is
Yeah.
powerful. Because we're not here to copy other people.
Yeah.
Or to just recreate, or you find someone you like and like you do the exact same thing as them, and clone yourself. Like, you are here
Because
to do
either way,
you.
yeah, either way, like if you try doing that, you may do it in the beginning to like feel, as a kid, you copy your adult and you try things out and you learn, but ultimately personalizing things is where our authenticity shines, and really surrendering to that trust of hearing how to do that and what your voices are telling you, your higher self. Sorry for the
Yeah.
interruption. Like my whole camera fell.
No, it's all good. I think maybe that's a sign. It's like, shake things up, right? Like shake them up, move it around. That's an important meditation to work with too, because sometimes here's something that I noticed is a struggle point for me. If I get too rigid and too regimented and too structured, then I'm also like not being authentic and not holding space for these other aspects of who I truly am, and like what I really want to create to come forth and express themselves too. And being like overly structured and regimented is also like a manifestation of trying to control and like reduce the fear vibration too. It can come from a place of fear, and be a manifestation of fear intention dominating, rather than the love that can be more flowy and intuitive, and shaking things up. And
Which
yeah.
hence the self-presence and consistent constant check-ins of like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, does it really serve me to hold this? For some person it could be like, okay, I need structure,
Uh-huh.
organization. That's what's serving them, because maybe they're just totally like let everything go, not paying
Yeah.
attention to it at all. And then
Yeah.
maybe another type A person needs the opposite. They need to let go. They need surrender as an intention, or trust, or whatever. Like they can't control everything, so
Yes.
it's all uh I think self-honesty practice of like, what
Mm-hmm.
do you really need, and be honest with yourself too. Do you mind sharing
Yeah.
like an intention you're working with right now, that you like,
Yeah.
one of them?
um No, actually. Okay, let me think. It's like the two big ones I don't want to talk about
Yeah,
yet,
don't I don't
because
like to.
yeah, they're so deep, and they're
Yeah.
so exciting, and they're
Yeah.
so powerful. um
Yeah, don't share anything that doesn't
yeah,
feel right. But
not
if you
yet.
think of one, yeah.
Not yet. What about you? What can you share about an intention you're working with right now?
Mm-hmm. I'm working with perfectly imperfect and showing up as is.
Mm.
So hence like my bite mark and like on
Yes,
everything. and
yes.
and I'm learning some, because I come from, I love like creating and designing. I like presentation. I worked in the design field, so I love that kind of stuff. But there comes a point where it could become too contrived.
Mm.
And I was talking to someone like this about it, and she's like, "Yeah, some people's posts just feel like this uh, plastic, unachievable lifestyle." And so I'm like, I want to work with the edge of presenting something, so it's or even just showing up right now, like I'm not really wearing makeup or anything. I wear makeup on the other ones. Like I'm
You look
practicing.
radiant.
I'm just practicing it in like little subtle ways, and I don't want to be a slave to anything. So I'm just like, okay, I noticed that maybe something creeped in, and I felt that I needed to pull back, and I've have this one group I'm part of, that I've been sharing, and it's only for a month long, but I'm sharing every day. Um, I'm not even editing the photos with like Lightroom or, adjusting the levels. I'm just showing it and then saying what's real in the moment. And it feels very liberating. Whereas sometimes that serves, like on a Instagram feed, you want to you want your food to look good. You don't want it to look like this, brown lighted, like, like
Shadowy
blob
mess.
that you don't want to eat.
Yeah.
So it's for me, that's, I feel vulnerable sharing this, but that's what one of my intentions is right now. And it's helping me show up more for work, working on things, like not having to like know how it's going to be the result in the end. And yeah, I wanted to add also that, like what you said about the journal practice, how it can be left brained. I feel like it can be both. From uh,
Yeah.
like one way is, that I have a bunch of ways I journal, but one of them is like a brain dump, and it's just, an initial act of acceptance of hearing it without revolting or trying to change the thoughts, and just kind of meditating and watching them as they flow by. Even if they're the judge, even if they're the critic, even if they're whatever. And the initial act of that is like, okay, I don't have to avoid my mind. I don't have to avoid my feelings. I don't have to avoid anything. And it's like this, it's like an initial practice of equanimity. And then afterwards, I channel kind of like my higher self, and I pre- pretend I dialogue with myself, and I ask myself my questions and answers I'm holding in life. Like, how do I do the business thing today? I'm so overwhelmed. Or what should I do about this big, deep question? Because one of my intentions I'm holding also continually through many years is, um, I'm someone who trusts her inner wisdom and opens to love. And I've given my power away so many times, and definitely grew up giving my power away. And I feel like being able to answer my own questions, trust my knowingness, trust my inner wisdom is, um, has been a huge life changer, like complete 180. Yeah, there's so many cool stories to share about intentions and like.
I feel like you're the intention queen. Like when I think intention or journaling, I'm like Tina. Tina is like queen of the land. Yeah, so much wisdom I've gained from listening to various stories and things you've shared, and like feeling so inspired um to work with both of those modalities more intimately. Um, but yeah, it did pop into my mind. I can share a couple intentions I've worked with. Um, in listening to you, I was like, oh yeah, like the inner guidance one has been huge for me too. Is really honoring, listening to, holding space for my inner guidance and following it even when it seems crazy, to other people. And even to me, I'm like, am I crazy? Like, this doesn't make sense. Like, why? I just moved here. Do I really need to move there? Like, what is wrong with my life? Like, it doesn't look like anyone else's. It's not supposed to. It's just me following my inner guidance. And the beauty is, I get enough validation from myself, from my guides, my higher self, that I know I'm doing good when I am just fully surrendering to it. you know, despite how insane it may look to someone else. So that one is continues to pay off like massive dividends. And yeah, I'm so glad I'm choosing and creating a life from that space rather than, you know, just taking like the more safety route, or like the route that I know, you know, was kind of like set up in my family for a certain trajectory to happen, and, you know, set up by like a southern social context for, you know, you gotta like get married and like have the baby and like live in one spot, and, you know, have the career or the stay-at-home mom, you know, that whole track. I'm so happy to like be creating a life that is authentic and rooted in yeah, following my inner guidance like 100%. And I think every year, or yeah, about every year, I'm like, I want to like lock that in even like harder core, you know, like let's next level it. You know, I've been I've been working with that one for a long time, at least, yeah, the last like 8 years or so, and yeah, keep up leveling it. Another one that's come up for me recently has been, yeah, the past several months is just clarity, like wanting to be clear and clarity, 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 like clear mind, clear thoughts, clear direction, clear access to that inner guidance. Yeah, real clarity of mind, clarity around life purpose, clarity around you know, what's really going on in the world, what matters, how does life work, what does the universe mean, like all the big things, and also the little things, like, you know, just making everyday decisions, and like business decisions, relationship decisions, you know, practical things. Should I eat a smoothie bowl, or should I, you know, eat the whole banana? Like clarity on all the levels. And that one has been paying off massive dividends too. And um, yeah, I think it's changed my life. It's changed my life dramatically in the past several months working with that intention. And I would say massively for the better. Just feeling more content, more of that wholeness, okayness with what is, lots of self love emerging out of it, and feeling alive, you know, feeling really, really alive and awake and present.
Mm-hmm.
And highly recommend the clarity intention, like, and just like having an intention, it will be delivered. Like it will come to fruition if you really do hold it and work with it. I cannot. I feel like they're underrated intentions. You know, it just sounds good, or like people, oh, intentional living, like it's the cool thing these days to like be conscious and intentional. But like it's legit. Like it is so legit.
Yeah, it takes
Really.
energy and concentration
Yeah.
and just like keep
Yeah.
presencing something and actually surrendering and trusting and choosing from that space, like whatever
Yeah.
action you're doing,
Yeah.
like, oh, does this embody clarity, or like, is this
Mhm.
what will give, you know, what are some kind of prompts that you think of when you think of when you're working with your intention of clarity? Is it like, does this, what's clear about this, or are you
Mhm.
saying to yourself, does this create clarity in my life when you're
Yeah.
choosing something? What are kind of some anchor points that you want to share?
Yeah, it's like clarity in my body. Like, okay, choose raw foods. Choose to do a colon cleanse. Choose to do a parasite cleanse. Choose to have daily juices. Choose to really like stick with the raw food path fully, and be committed to that. Um, and anything that's like not gonna make me feel clear, like don't do it, right? The same with like being in nature, being present more, having more spaciousness in my life rather than like having lots of stimulation and inputs. um, clarity in terms of other actions. What promotes mental clarity for me? Like having a solid morning routine, the
Yeah.
meditation, first thing in the morning, last thing I do before I go to sleep. That is like massive clarity, because that time right when you wake up, and both of those times you're so like suggestible, and that's unfortunately when a lot of people, you just get up, you look at your phone, you check the emails, or you open Instagram, and that's just garbage. You're like,
And
you're
then your mind is actually programmed by an
yeah,
algorithm. Like your
yeah,
attention
because
goes to what it wants to show you
you're
instead of you being free and choosing.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and your brain waves are in more of the hypnotic state too. So yeah, you're being programmed super deep. The same is true if you're going to bed like watching TV or something. Oh my God, like don't do that. Stop. You're literally programming. It's television programming. Even if you're watching it on Netflix or somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
Like it is programming. So I guess, yeah, holding that intention of clarity, it became clear which activities were promoting clarity and which activities were more of the programming and like fear programming, confusion
Confusion. I
programming.
was just gonna say, like, I feel
Oh my
confused is like the
God.
opposite of clarity. Yeah.
That's the dynamic duo, is the confusion programming mixed with the fear programming. And
Yeah.
it's yeah, that's what we're dealing with in this whole misinformation, let's let's scare everyone to death
I think
age.
a or a helpful intention or question to ask when you're in that huge confusion state is like, okay, what, instead of being like, oh my God, I'm confused. What do I do now? What do I do? Like, ask
Mm,
yourself, what do I know? What do I know right
mm,
now? Like, what is my knowingness showing me? Like, and focus on the tiny little thing that you do know, and then that will guide you. Like, we've talked about that one before, like with the
that is
whole down the rabbit hole thing. But
I
um,
love that. That's so funny. One of these songs I'm listening to every morning when I dance, because I started this dance in the morning habit that I love and highly recommend. It's like ugly dance, you're not trying to be cute. It's like whatever needs to come out. But one of the songs I'm listening to, it's got this like voiceover, like all these different like cool jungle, like amazing music. And she's asking, like, what does your body know right now? It can be a word
mm,
or a color or a phrase. What does your heart know right now?
maybe you
And
can send a link to that on the
yes, yeah,
description.
yeah. That's
I'd
so funny
love to
you
hear that
said
song.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then like, what
I,
does your mind or your soul or your spirit? And she does. She goes through that, and every time I'm listening to that song, it's like, yeah, something comes through, and it's just like, wow, my body knows beauty. And she says
uh,
to put that in your medicine pouch,
mm,
like each one of the knowingnesses that comes forth. But yeah, girl, that is the question. What do I know
yeah.
right
What
now?
do I know? And tapping into that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like swinging back, because I love how you were talking about how this all applies to the raw vegan lifestyle. Like, you were saying something about like food choice and clarity. Like,
Hmm.
and then I thought of how, like, it's not like you just started this. You didn't just try raw food diet a month ago. You've been into it
Hmm.
for a few years. Like, what what intentions have kept you on a raw vegan path, and what are they? Like, what are the overarching, like, few that you're still doing this? Because why are you still doing this?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think I mean, it's like cheat sheet. Like I know yours, but it's also kind of like it's my truth. Like this is
Mm,
my truth. It really it resonates so deeply with like my yeah, my life blueprint. basically, like the instruction manual for like how to operate Taylor's human body. It says eat a raw vegan diet, like
How
chapter
do you
one.
know? How do you know?
I just, yeah, as deep down as I can possibly know. And because I've struggled, like I've been raw and then I've not been raw. Like life experience has shown me that not being raw is not my truth. Like I feel like garbage on all the levels, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. I'm out of alignment. It's like not in working order, like system malfunction. So I've had that contrast, and um yeah, like knowing it's my truth, even if I'm eating cooked food for months, it's like, oh, clearly this isn't my truth. Like, know,
So
makes it all the
you really value and love
mm,
the intention of truth, is what I'm
mhm.
hearing.
I do very
Yeah.
much.
Are there
Yeah.
any other ones that have kept you on the raw vegan path?
Mm, truth. I think, yeah, this like self-actualization.
Like living your potential of what
Yeah.
is inside of you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, fully actualizing this life, this being, this body, and um yeah, it seems like a raw food diet is something that needs to happen in order for that to happen.
Mm.
So yeah, just I mean, I want it all. I want it all in this life, as much as I can experience, as much as I can activate. Um, yeah, I definitely am very spiritually compelled um, to do this. I think this lifestyle is so supportive of spiritual awakening. It's incredibly supportive of expanded states of awareness, of consciousness, of beingness, of feelingness, of all of it. Yeah, I've been enticed by like the physical things too at different times, but really for me, what matters more is the spiritual. Um,
Yeah. So
good
it sounds
health.
like there's a deep value and intention of spiritual support and actualization. Like this is
Yeah,
deeply in you, and like you're gonna
yeah,
go to the things that help you do that, whether it's the raw
right.
diet, the meditation, the crystals and Reiki,
Yeah,
or other things that really support you tapping into that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And health is one of those foundation
Mm-hmm.
building blocks that's necessary for those other, consciousness expansion. And all of this
Yeah.
is a lot harder if you feel like garbage,
Yeah.
you know, to like sit and meditate or something. You can do it, and you can experience very high levels of consciousness. I think, like not on a raw food diet, but for me, it's my truth paired with the self-actualization, and
Yeah.
it feels very loving and very nourishing, and um like it's a whole like reparenting of myself. It's a part of my reparenting process.
That's
It feels
awesome.
like I get to be my mommy, and like,
Yeah.
feed me all the amazing, perfect, nourishing foods for my being, and
Mm.
I super enjoy it. Yeah, it
So that
brings me
just
such
keeps you
joy.
bringing you back to this lifestyle, because
Yeah,
whether you've wanted or not, like it's the one that
yeah,
helps accentuate
yeah,
all those things.
yeah. And I do want it.
Yeah.
What about you, my dear? What has
Well,
kept you? You've been on this path for over a decade.
it's
So,
funny that I'm glad you asked, because like I just read, like Sasha also wrote, like this is my truth,
yeah, I
right?
saw that.
And you say it, and for me it's been a surrendering process to that, because I definitely at first was excited and I wanted to go as long as I could, and I kept trying going longer and longer and longer, and I would count the
Mhm,
days I would actually
mhm,
would go off, and I really each year was like trying to get more and more and more, and then you know, I did have periods where there was like a total come off of it, you know, and the
Mm-hmm.
intention shifted. So priorities, what am I prioritizing as my intention? And is it conscious or not, you know? So like in that priority, maybe my intention overall didn't shift because it's like I need to love myself and take care of myself, but I didn't have the tools to totally do that. So then I would go into probably, yeah, the it probably was a fear response, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that keeps bringing me back to this lifestyle is like the similar things you were saying, and it's
Mm-hmm.
I do value truth because I know
Yeah.
what it feels like to lie to myself.
Yeah.
I know what it feels like to not want to wake up. I know what it
Mm-hmm.
feels like to not want to live. I know what it feels like to feel totally uncreative and blocked, so I can't even paint a color on my wall. Even though I was a designer, like I know what it feels like to not express my truth. And it's so painful and it's so draining and it's so lack of vitality, you know, lack of motivation, lack of will to live or do anything. And um, it's suffering. And so I feel like because I've lived, and I'm sure a lot of people here can maybe resonate with that or have had
Oh
similar
yeah, I
experiences.
do.
It's like, yeah, it's like knowing that reference point and then knowing I had to choose. I choose truth. I choose, and obviously I choose compassion to do it as
Mm-hmm.
much as I can because I'm a human and I will falter. But
Mm-hmm.
I choose um, authenticity as much as I can. I choose health because I know what it feels like to not be healthy. And it's scary. And it's you know, I had to question whether I want to live, you know, because I mean, it's only precancerous. Maybe people think that's exaggerated, but like at 26, I had to be like, do I want to live?
Mm-hmm.
Do, am I going to keep making the choices like you're making, Taylor, that support life? So like one of my intentions is to honor life. One of them is to live the love that I am. One of them is to um, tap into my inner wisdom and live from that because I know what it feels like to keep asking everybody else what I should be doing in life and living
Yeah.
that. And it
Yeah.
doesn't nourish my heart or my soul. And when I like you said this, you were like, I feel alive. Like when I really live from that space, I feel alive. I feel happy to wake up. I want to do things. I want to create. I have energy. I want to express it, but I want to express it not just in a way that's like F you world or I'm going to judge you or I'm going to like emotionally vomit, whatever. Like I want to express it in a way that we can co-create together and make, you know, make beauty or share the beauty or, you know, accept and love. And part of that has been the intention to really deeply accept with equanimity, like learning the importance of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Accepting depression, accepting the shadow, accepting things that I formerly would judge. So acceptance has been a huge intention for me that I've had to walk with and learn about. And yeah, there's so many little subtle ways, like all these characteristics, you know. Um, and yeah, truth is huge. Going back to like the body, even just the
Yeah.
noticing the body's signs when I'm off of it or I'm not embodying that, like the inflammation that comes, you know, that like someone said, you know, you understood the body odors change, like in my armpits or um, everything shifts. My skin, I look puffier, you know, I gain weight,
Mm-hmm.
um, I feel fatigued. You know, fatigue is a huge one, and I don't want it. You know, I say I don't want that. You might. I'm sure there's still like lots of little ways that I'm still streamlining, tweaking my lifestyle that
Yeah.
uh, allow energy to the true energy in my essence to flow out, and not being afraid of that. And there's different levels. You know, there's actually different levels of enlightenment too, and like
Yeah.
so it's like if little glimpses we get or whatever, however far we're going along or whatever reference points we have, it's you know, the comfort of the known is not so comfortable anymore.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yes.
I think those are some of the intentions that I think a lot of them you and I have similarly. And then,
Mhm.
um, yeah, just even knowing what it's like to live the opposite intentions of fear, close down, or shutting off
Yeah.
my heart, or yeah.
I
So yeah, thanks for
yeah.
asking. But
I resonate with that. I'm glad you shared that part about knowing the extreme contrast. I have also experienced the extreme contrast with depression, anxiety, suicidality, not due to having any kind of diagnosis or anything, like a cancer diagnosis, but just like being in that space for
yeah,
um
lack of happiness and
years. Yeah.
fulfillment and living one's truth.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, just trying to shape myself into what I thought other people wanted me to be, and that was absolutely miserable. And veganism and then raw veganism were two. Veganism was like the first big thing I did that felt like, oh my God, this is who I really am, and then raw veganism was like, oh, like this is
Like
even
what?
better. This is even more of who I am. Like I feel even more alive and like
Yeah.
creative and all of these things too. But yeah, I love all of the intentions you shared with yeah, expressing your truth. There's so many. I was like, I need to
I
be
know,
taking
right?
notes, Tina. Like,
No.
because it's your words though, and that is important to like create them in your own words. But yeah, expressing wisdom, honoring life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
the
one was
the
a big
truth.
one
Yeah.
because I did live opposite of that in my
Mm-hmm.
own personal story at one point where I felt like I didn't, and it really that was like one of my biggest awakenings and change from that lesson. Humbling moment, yeah. But well, the only reason I said no, don't take notes, because like you're
I
living a
know.
lot of those. I feel like you're living a
Yeah.
lot of those things, and
Yeah,
um,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else around the raw vegan lifestyle that feels important to share or talk about with in the community here?
Yeah, if anyone has anything they want to say about that or ask, if you
Yeah,
have
about
any
intentions.
questions, yeah, that would be cool. But I think this crew and like what we're saying, I don't know, it feels really potent. It feels really necessary because yeah, like being in this lifestyle for the right reasons, for like pure pure goodness reasons and health and vitality and
And even if you catch
love.
yourself and it wasn't a good reason, like
Hmm.
that's okay. It brought you to the lifestyle. It
Yeah.
brought you to the lifestyle, and then just like adjust. Don't dodge the
Yeah.
lifestyle. Like adjust the mentality and approach.
Yeah.
Adjust what, like, oh wow, I was coming from restriction rather than bounty,
Hmm.
or I was coming from um actually lying and I'm using it as an excuse not to eat. And, like
Yeah.
it could be anything, but just get
Yes.
really aware of what we are all thinking, and
Yeah.
then really practice shifting it. And it's possible to change it. I want to add this actually.
Yeah.
It's really possible to change your belief system. Um, and the way to do it for me, was daily presence the new belief, and take, not just presence it in my mind, but actually take action on it. So it's almost like you're proving to yourself that that belief is true. So an example would be, and it's not, it doesn't have to be a big action. It can be like the smallest action that you can't not do because it's so small.
Mhm.
It's like I can't put on my left shoe because you can. You have like that minimal energy to do that or something. So it's like for me it was what I didn't believe I could do this, like listening to my higher self. I was like, how do I do that? What does that even mean? I didn't even hear that voice. So
Mhm.
I practice. I wrote that sentence every day. I am someone who surrenders to her inner wisdom, or trusts her inner wisdom, and opens to love. And then the way I proved it to myself was by having a dialogue every day with my higher self, and just writing in the journal. To me, that proved that even if I didn't act 100% on all the suggestions, like just having the conversation, maybe taking a tiny little action step, like, oh, you want to change your job, maybe download the PDF for the application or something. Like, don't even tell yourself you have to turn it in, something really small. And what made it easy was just doing it, not changing the action. So it was like saying the sentence and rewiring my belief, and doing the same exact action first thing in the morning every day, like just journaling every little morning with that same sentence. I'm connecting with my higher self. And now I feel like I can say that. Sometimes I don't do it. I can say that too. I feel honest, but it's like, at least now I can say that. But the first time I said that sentence aloud, I cried. I did not believe it. I was like shaking. I didn't believe it. So it's like, you can't, I just want to share this because you can rewire your fundamental belief system. And you and I were talking about that. We're like, it's like you're doing brain surgery.
Yeah, legit.
Because you're actually physically changing your brain. Your thought pattern is going through like a highway to a certain spot, the fear separation spot, and then you're like rewiring it back to your frontal lobe, your higher self. And brains actually can physically shift and change, and so actually it can grow. Like, it's not like it's growing like that, but it grows strength like a muscle.
Connections.
So like all of a sudden that highway becomes like this overgrown, weeded trail because you stopped using it. And then this highway to the higher self knowing gets really strong and becomes the new highway. And it's like you're physically changing your brain by changing your thoughts. And your intention guides the way.
Yes.
So yeah, I just thought that was so cool. And you were talking about the brain surgery you were doing.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's exactly true what you're saying about you weaken a certain connection that had been dominating. I learned about this in like grad school psychology. Like, they're even starting to come around to figuring some of this stuff out. You'll weaken that pathway, and the brain will change its physiology to accommodate a new pathway, and then that new pathway strengthens, and that becomes like your default, your automatic setting over time, and really, really strong and really potent.
We have a question here.
Yeah.
Changing beliefs, awesome work. What are you working on right now at B Astments? So I think we kind of touched upon that a little bit earlier, but currently I would say I'm working on streamlining my food prep. But that's not a belief. I guess the belief is that like I think I was avoiding certain habits, and now I'm opening. My intention is to open to new ways of approaching this lifestyle. That's an intention I'm doing right now. And it's like I'm actually actively going out of my way to learn new recipes. Not every day, because that takes a lot of energy and stuff for me, and I want to dedicate my energy to other things. But I'm learning new that intention plays out as like learning new recipes, trying new food prep methods in the morning. Nice. What else does it play out in? Yeah, just being being open and spending time listening to new perspectives. So I've been listening to other raw vegans more often now than I did last year.
Yeah.
How about you, Taylor?
Yeah, within the context of raw vegan is really I feel like I was just like massively upgraded energetically, and like figuring out what my upgrades require in terms of like food, and like how to do it over the course of the day. So like following things that have really been working for me the last several months, and adjusting them to meet my needs that have changed a bit too, and to get more enjoyment and feel like I'm
Yeah.
eating from a like intuitive space as well. But still getting like the amazing results. So I think more freedom and more flexibility, because I'd gotten a bit rigid, which was useful and was serving me, but introducing more sensuality into the food while also preserving the super like high quality and like good results that I love to get. um
I want to add to that. I'm also kind of adding that in as one of my intentions because I think I was holding the intention that simplicity is best, and it is sometimes.
uh-huh.
but but lately, like I plate things, or even just for myself at home, try to put more, I guess, presentation, like aesthetically, like make it. And with the new recipes, it's delighting me in mental, emotional, kind of spirit way. Because I got really bored in the kitchen. And so my intention is
Yes.
to really be consciously aware about nourishing myself on the other levels. And I kind of
Mm-hmm.
let that slide and was like food
Mm-hmm.
as fuel. I got really into
Mm-hmm.
monomealing, like,
Yeah.
and that's fine too. Like they also, like you said, they all serve
Yeah.
purpose at different times. Um, and so now what serves me is not to be too attached to that and to implement more beautification, new ways of what I consider elaborate. Like
Mm.
that takes not just my same old salad with like the two dressings I always use,
Yeah.
or and so yeah, it's yeah, composting the old ways because they don't serve right now, and doing new things.
Yeah, we have a question. How can I apply the brain rewire techniques as far as depression?
Well, I feel, to be honest, I feel like that you would need a health assessment, to like a background, health history, and I think it would be really important to know what your actual limiting beliefs are, and that takes time to discover. So I don't think it could be possible for us to just say like, okay, do this like
Yeah.
over this call or this discussion. But saying that, knowing that, um, getting aware, what is your limiting belief, asking yourself what you really want to step into, like what do I really want in life. Like for me at that point, I was really desperate and I really wanted to trust myself and trust the my higher guidance, because I knew what the opposite was. So then the technique that I used was like presencing that statement every day, like I really want to trust myself because I was depressed from not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I was depressed, and then taking the smallest tiny action you can each day, and hopefully it could be something maybe repetitive first thing in the morning, that it's like proving it to yourself that it's true. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
something so small that by you doing it, you're proving that new belief is true. So that's what I would say. What about you, Taylor? Do you have any
Yeah.
other ways that help? Because you studied psychology, so.
Yeah. I agree with what Tina said. We both coach, so if you want to like go real deep with either of us, and yeah, you can do that one on one. We both offer one on one coaching. And in the future, we will be doing retreats together. So you can have like double TT, TayTay, like hardcore
Dang, Taylor,
action.
you announced it.
Yeah. Well, I haven't said when or
Okay.
where, any other details, but we will be doing things and you're
Just so
invited.
everyone knows, we've never announced it, so this is the first time.
Ah, spill the beans. Oh my God, that is so me.
Well, it's exciting.
Anyway, can't keep it in, gonna be loud about it. What can I say?
The
But
novice
yeah,
is out of the bag. The cat's
Um,
out of the bag.
so from a psychological perspective, yes, Eleanor is definitely coming for sure. Yeah, we'll make sure it's in a spot where Eleanor can come. We've talked about this. Don't even worry about it. Um, but yeah, so the brain rewiring, they do this in CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, where they're looking at which thoughts are triggering emotions are triggering, or which emotions are triggering the thoughts that then trigger behaviors. There's a certain order to it. So you're getting some of that in regular therapy. But if you're a nerd like me, I love reading and learning all of this stuff. So books I would recommend is anything by Dr. Bruce Lipton. He writes a lot about this, like the biology of belief and the honeymoon effect are two of his books that I really like. And then Dr. Joe Dispenza also is incredible. He talks about these things in very, very profound and awesome, actionable ways in becoming supernatural. I just finished that book and I do 2 of his meditations every single day. And he talks a lot about rewiring yourself. And basically, you can do it and, like, you know, not be raw vegan or anything. But man, you like superpower it if you're like your diet's good and you're also attending to other aspects of healthy lifestyle. I mean, the sky is really the limit, but it can definitely be done. And depression can be a thing of the past for sure. Completely healable. I had treatment resistant depression, you know, treated with drugs and therapy for many years. And I can say that I now, without therapy or drugs, you know, I'm very much depression free and am very joyful. And yeah, you can heal. Everyone can heal.
I wanted to add to that. That's really, first of all, thank you, Taylor, for
Oh,
sharing that. Like, I don't know if people know that, and that's huge. Like, there's a lot of people, and when you eat a raw diet, you feel more. And
yeah.
I think what Jonas said right here, Rosenberg, if that's what I'm thinking, who wrote Nonviolent Communication,
Oh, yeah.
that actually was really helpful for my inner dialogue. Like,
Mm.
instead of fearing my own emotions, I had to decide because I used to be really afraid of whenever I would get depressed or fear and those states that I couldn't even write down what I was thinking or feeling because I was so afraid of looking at it. And learning to, or actually choosing not to be afraid of it, and choosing that I'm going to feel, choosing accountability for my well-being, wanting to choose to be happy and recognize that my true essence is happiness and joy and love. And also like getting really aware of physical things do affect our inner biology, like, you know, the food, everything, like you can use that as a coping mechanism because you don't want to feel, but if you do choose to feel and work with your thoughts to actually reflect the love that you are, that's why journaling was very helpful to like even realize what I was thinking,
Mhm.
allowing myself to even write emotions down and not be afraid of them, and choose the accountability of like, hey, I'm going to face you, and I'm going to take care of myself, and I'm the person who cultivates my well-being, not somebody else. Like, I can
Mhm.
go to other people and get guidance or suggestions
Mhm.
or learn techniques, but ultimately I'm the one who implements them. I'm the one who's going to do my practice. I'm the one who's going to show up for myself every day instead of avoid myself every day. And all of those are beliefs too. Like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
so it's like pairing the belief with like the action of doing it is, um, has changed that that state for that kind of situation for me too. Um, yeah, this is deep. That's a deep question. I'd say, and very very relatable. And yeah, like,
Yeah. I just had to pick Naga up off the floor because she was starting to play with the cord to my light, and like, we don't do that.
Yeah, you don't want a
Yeah,
lightning bolt happen.
yeah, no, not good. But yeah, nonviolent communication is incredibly helpful. And what I hear when you're talking about the journaling, the various journaling practices, is like you're holding space for yourself to have the feelings. And whatever form that takes, that needs to happen, you
Because a
know?
lot of people skip that step. They want to
Definitely.
fix right away. Like, so like, I'm going to go to the affirmations. I'm going to go to the intention right away. Or, well, the intention's different, but I'm going to go to the affirmation and do this and
Mm-hmm.
this.
Mm-hmm.
But you actually are still judging yourself and your emotions and the whole spectrum of that's like one of the things is like that one intention I have is celebrating the spectrum of being. It's like accepting all of it, living with it, working with it, and we need to do that to be able to like let the love out. Yeah.
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 Yeah. And to not get the emotions stuck either.
Yeah.
You know, they have to be hold space for yourself to have them and become aware of them, and then in just that space of awareness and compassion, they'll liberate themselves because that's what they do. You know.
Yeah, the intention to be happy and to choose from that would is really helpful, and not like a fake happiness, but like an
Yeah.
authentic, true short and long term happiness. Like I've practiced that intention. I remember, and that was really potent for when I was really practicing that one.
Yeah.
But that one's a really big one. And then you can see what are the limiting beliefs that come up when I want to choose those things, and then work with them and be like, thank you, I see you. I'm here for myself. That's is you know, is it true? Is it true? And if it's not, what is true? I'm safe. I'm love. I'm okay. I'm here. And really reminding yourself that no matter what, like trusting oneself in the face of anything is such a catalyst for overcoming any kind of fear and being in the face of it, whether it's and yeah, that's a huge intention too, trusting oneself. Yeah.
Yeah. And the more you hold space for yourself, the more that comes up, the more you build that trust that you can sit with anything. And that's so powerful to feel like I can sit with anything. You know, I can face anything that may come up. There's a real strength and a real power and an empowerment in that, that occurs over time. Yeah.
What you just said is so true and powerful, and it keeps getting reminded to me right now for some reason, like this do nothing kind of attitude towards it, like because we feel the depression or we feel sadness or we feel energy or an emotion, and like we want to run away from it, and it's like be in it, ask
Yeah.
it, become friends with it. What is it telling you? It probably has a really your depression probably has an awesome message for you, and it
Mhm.
meaning like it's if you place it in the affirmative, like instead of saying you're nothing, like the depression, maybe like it has a deeper message coming out that's saying like, wow, I'm not happy living like this. I don't like my job. I can't go on like this. Like, so what's the affirmative of that? Like, I want to be my own boss. I want to create what I want to create and sell it. I want to move. The city doesn't honor me anymore. Or like, like it's this feedback we're getting. And so it's like uh this is like a technique. It's probably obvious, but I call it flipping the coin. It's like a really easy way to recognize something in the affirmative. So like if you don't, this is something I'm gonna add in my book. But when you're so confused and all you can see is the negative, like I hate this, like I can't stand that, or whatever, be friends with that. and then say, okay, if that's this, what's the exact opposite of that, to show you what you do want, instead of like judging yourself like, oh, I'm thinking negatively again, like I suck. It's like, no, that was a thought, and there's something crying out for your attention to see and act on and live from, and there's a truth in it. And so like flipping the coin and saying, okay, I hate my job, life sucks, blah blah blah, like what's the opposite of that? Wow, I actually love creating with my hands and not being a robot in a studio and never touching the final product. Like I actually love the tactile exploratory process of design. So I want to honor that. That makes me happy. And I had to do that. I had to leave the whole industry. And I'm giving you a specific example of like flipping the coin and to go towards what you do want. But and this is why it's, I think, so important to give attention to this shadow. And I feel like a lot of people bypass that. Sorry, I just went on a rant, but
No, I agree with that. The shadow work, the inner work, all of it, is so essential. And it'll keep coming back up until you really hold space for it, acknowledge it,
and it will get
and see it.
stronger and stronger and
Yes.
stronger.
It'll come up in bigger and bigger ways, more and more unpleasant ways. So best to just sit with it while it's small and allow it to move through.
And the don't believe the stuff that the voices that are separatist, judgmental, critic, like say, I don't want to live. Like, no, actually, like deep down, you do want to live, but you just want to live fully and truly from your truth. Not, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I definitely not advocating like listen to the message of like harming or not
No.
saying that. I'm only
Yeah.
saying use that, like, okay, it says you don't want to live, but what's true about that? Like it, you don't want to live like this.
Mm-hmm.
What are the things that you don't, like really flipping the coin and seeing like what it is, that's the affirming thing. So
Yeah.
it's funny, we create the topic we're going to talk about, and it morphs into so many different things I would have
I
never
know.
expected.
It's all
Thanks
it's
for
all this beautiful like spider web tapestry.
yeah.
Co-creation, of all of us here. I love that. I love that it was interactive and like people had questions and
Yeah.
comments and stuff. It's really awesome. And yeah, I feel very enriched and nourished by what was shared here. And I feel like I learned a lot from you.
Me too.
Frankly.
Me too, likewise. And from
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
All the comments. I'm so happy that everyone's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
So anything you'd like to wrap up or close, or like um anything that feels like it needs to be shared, or should we
Yeah.
close in silence?
Yeah. I feel like everything's been said.
I know.
Yeah, like really beautifully. And I feel super grateful and nourished. And I hope everyone else feels good too.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything
Well,
else on
yeah,
your end?
Taylor, if you guys want to check out Taylor's stuff, where can they find you again?
At Joyful Royal Life on Instagram, Taylor A. Norris on YouTube, and definitely I have a free book linked in my bio. If you put your email in there, that would be wonderful. I'll send you the free book, and also you'll be on my email list where I will be sharing more exclusive content with that list. I'm getting guidance to like do that, so there will be really cool stuff coming through there. And
I'm
yeah,
glad you mentioned
definitely.
that, because I did notice you were accentuating the email list. So I was
Yeah,
curious what.
yeah. I'm feeling drawn to be sharing more there to yeah, like the people who really want to hear more and like go deeper. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I love
yeah.
that.
What about you? Where can we find you, Miss Tina?
Well, I'm on Instagram currently. It's right here, Tina at Tina Sue, CSEUZ. In Hungarian, it's Chose. And I also have a YouTube channel that's been started a year ago, and it's sitting, building up its potential. And I feel like this coming year I'll be posting more videos. But this coming month, I'm concentrating on writing, and I really want to share my holistic tools that have supported me on sustaining a strong immune health and on vitality. And so, people can give you a recipe of how to do a raw lifestyle, but what's going to support you staying there? And I want to share the things that I've spent the past 15 to 20 years exploring and researching and learning and discovering. And so it'll be, it's not going to be like 100 billion pages, but it's going to be what serves right now. And I'm dedicating this month to it. So please stay tuned on Instagram, because that's where I'll be sharing about it. And in the future, I do hope to have more ways of contacting me through, like websites and retreats, like with Taylor, how she said. That's going to be exciting. It's out of the bag. So, yeah, let us know. Let us know things like what you're interested from us too. If you want to DM us, and because I want to do something that actually serves and people want, not just like what I want. So
Yeah.
a balance of both. So
Yeah.
thanks everyone for coming. Even the one that just popped on now, I see.
Yeah, and this will be on your IGTV, Tina, as
Yes.
well as I will put it on my YouTube channel too. So if just tuned in for a certain part of it, you want to see the whole thing. There were so many gems sprinkled throughout, and yeah, you can find it in those spots, the full session.
Yay.
Yay.
All right, everyone. Love you. Holding intentions of gratitude, love, health, vibrancy, truth, and friendship.
Yeah. Tribe. Thank you all. So much love. Mwah.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye bye.